Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and today is a big day as it is finally the 1.0 full release of KAISERPUNK, a game that plays a lot like Tropico and also a little bit of Anno at the same time that it tries to be Hearts of Iron and perhaps a little Company of Heroes. This game is one that I've been keeping an eye on for a while, and it's great to say that it is finally now out in 1.0 full release and that the game has more features to come. The devs are nowhere near finished with this one, but at least finished enough to say that it is a completed game that they're no longer in early access and have now released. So that's awesome. You know what else is awesome, though? You guys. Just wanted to take a quick second to say it's my birthday in a couple of days, and I really wanted to say thank you for all your support and subscriptions and nice words and wonderful comments over the years. And it's been an amazing experience to be able to live stream and be able to make videos for you guys and with you guys. And it's just been awesome. So thanks again. By the way, I'm doing some giveaways on the Discord with a link down below in the description for quite a few different games of this year and last year. And you might want to be a part of that. Some big AAA games and some other ones too that are indie and very cool. So definitely join the Discord, link down below. And thanks again for following on Instagram, X, all that other stuff. Links are down there. Folks, let's go ahead and get started with our first look at KAISERPUNK right now. The game is going to ask us to do a tutorial, and we're going to skip this for now because I've played it a few times. But what I do like is that it very briefly shows you everything there is to do in the game. You got your city building basics, which essentially is like an Anno 1800 or Tropico, where you're building homes and farms and then eventually making factories in order to make tanks and battleships and zeppelins and other things like that, because this game literally lets you conquer the world. Every major city that I could think of is actually on the map, and you can, start in a city like New York or Lower Manhattan or somewhere in Brazil or whatnot. Some of the major cities are there, most of them, like the most amount of size of them are there, and you can churn out an army and then go conquer the world with it. So if you wanted to start in some area in Berlin and then go to Prague and then go to Mexico City, whatever, it's all here. And that's what this is for. The navigating the world allows you to then start doing things like trading and moving all your troops around and whatnot. And then finally the grand scale, which allows you to then launch operations of invasion and support all those invasions and battles with logistics. So that's a really cool thing. There you got your Anno 1800, there you got your Hearts of Iron, and then in between there's something, I don't know, little Company Heroes there for like 3 and how the dynamic campaign mode works. But let's start ourselves a new game here today. Let's skip that tutorial, as I said, and let's take a look at the world map. This is awesome, man. They got everything here. Reno, Salt Lake City, and these apparently are maps that are recreations of these actual cities. So if we take a look at, for example, Berlin or Lisbon, or I think even London might be here. Yeah, these are based on, as closely as they can, the actual areas where they are. What seems to be interesting too is that they're different biomes. So Dublin a little different than Bodensee and Liverpool and other things like that. I don't know. It looks different, and that's really cool. And so if you wanted to go all the way down to like, somewhere around Japan. Apparently they don't have Tokyo, too big of a city, I guess, but they do have Seoul, and they even have like Sydney here. So pretty cool that you could build a major capital city in any of these cities after World War I or World War II. That's what this game is trying to go for, a very like interim-war period, almost like the end of World War One, like a pre-World War One, but then you kind of fight a later World War One when you first kick off, and then go into World War II. I think for today's purposes, we'll start in New York, but other cities include like Prague, and I think that's actually over here, and Riga. So there's quite a few there. Give a shout out down below in the comment section if you saw your city here or your region, and let me know what city you may be from, and or if you saw it on the map. So plenty of cool places to build in. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's get started then. Lower Manhattan, that's where we may begin in New York. But first we have to name our city. So I'm the leader of Raptoria, and my city's name is Raptoria. There you go. Now we get to choose our heritage. So this is kind of like reminding me a little bit of Rise of Nations. Do you remember that game? It's almost as if we're giving ourselves a perk based on our cultural heritage. So it's like we're making our own civ and civilization, or we're giving our own backgrounds to that kind of thing. So here, we get Silk Road Legacy, so we have some more like Soviet era tanks. This is what our artillery will look like, aircraft, and some of our bombers and zeppelins and things like that too. That really looks cool. That's really cool looking. Absolutely. Imperial Dominion. Yeah, so you can see that it'll change our appearance, and also not only that, but gives us different trade deals and bonuses and things like that. So then also debuffs. And I think this is important to look at, because one thing I think a lot of you watching, like if you've seen, Metal War Assault Squad on the channel before, or if you've seen, Broken Arrow or Steel Division, you'll see that they kind of change a little bit. So there's like, for example, the Germans in both World War I and World War II. Tiger tanks are there, and also the Panther. And then we see American tanks, so like the Sherman and the Pershing tank, and then Soviet stuff there as well. So pretty cool. So they've done a pretty good job of bringing in at least 3 factions of vehicles. So it looks, for the most part, to be American, Soviet, and then also German. And I'd like to see some British stuff in here eventually, too. And it looks like the artillery does change, at least in color. But I do see, like, that looks to be a Soviet pack gun and whatnot there. I'm not an expert on all this stuff, but it certainly does seem like they tried to do their best to mix things together. Is that a Junkers 88, I think? Maybe a HE 111 there? Maybe? All right, anyway, we'll pick one that fits us the best. I think we'll go with, let's go with something like German. That's going to be weird, right? But, you know, let's get a nice mix in here. Let's go with something that, Industrial Titan, which also does describe America during World War II. But it would be cool, devs, if in the future we can pick a background and then also a skin or like a theme for our tanks and vehicles. Like, I would love to be Industrial Titan, but also be America. But also, I guess you could consider Forest Warriors to also be German, too, I guess, in a little bit of a way, I guess. And then also Maritime Dominion. I mean, that's British, too. So anyway, hopefully we get more stuff. Now we get to design our flag, which is amazing. Very Manor Lords-like. So you got a ton of options of different patterns, so there's not a lot of restrictions here for how you want to design things. I think we'll go with something a little like this. Maybe we'll go with a kind of a weird version of Prussia / Germany / America type thing. Let's go with maybe a red, white, and blue, something like that. Yeah, and then, yeah, okay, perfect. So we got the red, white, and blue there, kind of bluish. I guess we'll go maybe more like that, and that's cool. And then let's do a different emblem. Making music here. We will soon with our artillery, believe you me. We got, wow, Communist China here, a bunch of other, oh no, a bear? Okay, well, it's a channel meme, so I guess we have to go with it. So let's go with the bear, and let's actually make it gold. There we go. Oh, that's hideous. Whatever. You know, you do whatever. I guess we'll just keep it as that. And this actually flies on some of your government buildings, so it does kind of matter a little bit to see it. It's a little immersive, so that's cool. And then also you can fade the emblem if you want to, too. So that's good enough for me. The United Bears of America, United States of Bear America. Perfect. That's actually what I should have named it. Okay, preset, I guess we'll go with normal, but then you get a chance to change all the options. And also your victories can be changed too. And this is really important to pay attention to this stuff, because people who skipped, by the way, who I'll yell at later in the video, he's talking too much. Damn it, this is what makes this game different. Pay attention. Because seriously, this is nice that there's a replayability here. So many people rush to the middle of a video of Hearts of Iron, then ask everyone else what's going on in the comment section and bail. What are you doing? You just gotta watch a video. All right, let's go. After the Versailles tragedy, America fell into turmoil. Armed insurrections flared up throughout the country, leading to civil war. Falling stars and burning stripes. Well, that's interesting. They created a story based on where we chose our map, which was, remember, Manhattan. So I wonder if we chose Berlin or if we chose London. Even if we were going to try to be more German or whatnot, I wonder if they would give us a different story. Here we are, land of the free, home of the brave, except for now it's the land of the dead and home of the despair. Governor, if we were going to make this place our home, I suggest we start building, gathering scattered survivors. We need people if we're going to start building a city. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. All right, let's take a look around a little bit. Full disclosure, I went back and made a couple of changes based on seeing how that intro is. I made a change to a different faction type to get more American-like vehicles, and also to get a farming bonus, which seems more American too. And here's what the map and the details of it look like. Here we are. There's our main little town, almost like our palace in Tropico. It almost looks like a Soviet school or something from World War II, but that is our town hall, and we'll build around that as we claim glorious sweet victory. Certainly looks a little bit like Farthest Frontier, but look at the details here. We have destroyed vehicles everywhere, damaged buildings and structures, and rubble everywhere too. It almost feels more like New York. Well, actually it never existed. Here's the East River, and yet there's no Brooklyn Bridge or anything like that. And interestingly enough, it's almost as if New York never existed during World War I or even, before that. So, yeah, it's almost like the World War I was fought a little earlier, and eventually we'll push technology through that seems to be early World War I and then eventually into World War II. So the timelines are a little skewed, but in a way that I think is interesting. We also have some supplies down here, and we better watch out where all of our resources are, too, and be careful not to build there. around this area should be where Central Park is, and yet it looks kind of like a dry. I don't know if it's the type of year that it is, but I do like the fact that we have our map down there. I think if we hit escape too, we can see the world map, and you can see exactly where we are. And where it kind of breaks everything down, so like the Great Lakes region, and these are territories that we can initially interact with. So this is where we could deploy like a navy or an army or scout via the air, and there will be other forces out there trying to take over the world too, so we'll kind of see how all that goes in a little while. So interestingly enough, we have upgrades for this region too, and a garrison, so we can manage the city on a macro level, and then we can also manage the city on a micro level. We have some interesting development points here to spend, like living, agriculture, things all the way down to military. So there is research in the game, and it's very, very important. And then we also have some statistics for our city on what we're producing and who's here, that kind of thing. But really, one thing that struck me as amazing right off the start is, let's go back to our city view. The game plays a lot like Anno 1800 because we have a blueprint mode here, and that's outstanding. We can plan out our city before we even build anything, so that way we can kind of prepare many turns and hours in advance if we know what we're doing. So for example, I could build a sawmill here, and we could also build some homes there because it doesn't look like it's too fertile for farms. And then we could build a beautiful avenue for our endless amounts of victory parades. Glory to Raptoria down below in that comment section. Get it going. I know you won't, but don't worry. We know where you live, and cops are on the way. Now, let's go ahead and build our little road here, and we're going to build a beautiful, glorious avenue for victory and all of our wonderful parades for sure. All right, I think we'll build a neighborhood off of this too, so we're going to go ahead and build it like maybe right off that way, and then we'll start constructing our little neighborhoods. Okay, looks like there's some scrap here. We'll be able to salvage that eventually, as we do have different classes in the game too. We have what you would remember in Anno 1800 being like farmers and workers and artisans is now laborers, manufacturers, technicians, and specialists, as well as the morale of them, and they will have to be built in different regions. So we'll start by building a couple of homes to begin with. Actually, before we even do that, that's a rookie mistake. We want to make sure we produce enough materials to be able to make even more homes. So what we could do is, we're in blueprint mode, so this is okay. So we can plop down a couple of homes to lay out our neighborhoods in advance, and then later on, when we're ready, we can hit the go button and they'll instantly construct because, you know, we're ready to go. And so we'll do like a quick maybe 2x2 times 4 type neighborhood, and that'll be an easy setup for all of our laborers. Now keep in mind, it is kind of hard to pre-build in this game because you never know how many workers you're going to need, but one thing you do know is that you're always going to need more. So it's hard to prepare for what exactly you need, and remember there's different classes too, but you can upgrade all these neighborhoods to be, you know, whatever you need at the time. So let's go ahead and start with that, and then we'll also build a road there to connect that section. And then we also need an area for our industrial production of wood, so this would be a perfect area right over here for that. So we'll go ahead and start doing a little logging here. We'll need a depot for everything to be stored at 2, equivalent of the warehouse in Anno 1800. So I think that actually is under this one here. There it is, the depot, and that's everything in that circle is what can be transported there. So we'll have to build things pretty close to it. And so when we build a farm, it might be wise to build that on the other side because the industry for wood is quite large. We eventually can make paper out of that, and I think maybe charcoal and other things are produced there too. So let's start with our depot there, and then we're going to also go for the production of wood, which I'm not sure where that is. There's our forester, that's what it is. We also have the farm and the grain fields too. I think the farm produces vegetables and the grain farm produces wheat for bread, so that's going to be important. Now we also want to build this a little far away. You see a large circle there around that building, so we'll kind of give it a little room there, a little breathing room for the setup of the logging camp. And then we need a sawmill, and that could be a little closer to the depot itself. And keep in mind, a lot of these trucks that are going to transport things are like World War I era trucks, like the 1910s and 20s. So, you know, things can't go very far or very fast, but we do have some ability to produce things quickly if we scale up over time. There's our lumber yard, and that will take lumber and turn that into plywood for us. That'll be an important thing. Then we have smelters and cellulose factories. So we have things here, you know, for housing, for military, for regular factories, and for production of intermittent goods that are needed on occasion for other types of production. So for example, copper being smelted into ingots, and then that has to be brought to something else. Intermediate production of like cables and things like that. It all works out in the end. Let's build ourselves that sawmill. And where does that go? Iron mine. And there's our forester. Oh boy, we always lose these things. Production buildings. Heavy industry buildings. Apparently lumber is a heavy industry. I don't know about that, but sure. Let's go ahead and make sure this doesn't overlap too much. This also might be a negative or a positive buff or debuff based on if they're within a range of a building. So there may be some synergy for these two if we build them next to each other, that kind of thing. Although I don't think they can supply directly. Oh, there actually is a marker for synergy there. Look at that. Okay. So if we connect the sawmill next to that building, it will directly deliver there and then there. Not everything has to go back to the depot. Perfect. It's different than Anno in that way. All right. So we're going to go ahead and give the approval to construct these buildings. So these are absolutely going to be needed to make more of the plywood that's needed to then make more homes. We now have 85 of that remaining. And so we can start with our first goal, which is to reach a population of 120. So in order to do that, yeah, we're going to start building some homes. So it's 10 woods each. So we're down to 55. And we're down to 45 now. And we'll kind of watch these industries start working. So we have people working here. You can see they're starting to produce logs. And then that is also producing cash. Or rather, it has a production cost that requires cash. But some buildings will give us cash, like, for example, via trade. You can make a massive logging industry and then sell all your wood to a neighbor and then make money that way. Enemy army could be near. Ooh. Uh-oh. We're going to go to war up there with Canada there, bud? All right. We can go. We can take him down. Don't you worry. All right, let's get back to town. Okay, so we're waiting for production to kind of complete there. You can see that wheel filling up and that they're almost done producing those things, and then we'll start getting more wood over time. So that's kind of a slow initial start, but it's everything that's necessary to begin. Wow, look at that old forklift there. Nice. Cool animations here. Depot, entrance. Nice look at the buildings. Very cool. Ah, we got a Steam achievement. Establish a direct resource transport link between two buildings. Right, so they can directly ship... Oh, wow, it's like a little tuk-tuk. Not even like a truck. So they're taking sacks of logs, I guess, over here to the sawmill, and then that is producing the plywood that then goes there. So all the production chains in this game are kind of like that. Very, very much hype. Very excited. Go ahead and get that population up some more. And we're going to build to our heart's content there and await for more production. So, let's see. 8 out of 8 working there, 10 out of 10, and another 10 out of 10. Are there upgrades here? Not exactly sure what these things do. Looks like there are individual building upgrades to which we can give an oversight office, and that will reduce running costs or production per cycle plus 20% via irrigation. So that might be a good way to spend some of our wood there. So that'll give us even more wood to give to the sawmill. So every little bit counts. Micromanagement, very important here for each individual building, but there's also macro policies too. By the way, this is New Bear City, not New York City. New Bear City of the United Bears of America. Bear America. Yeah, whatever. We'll work on it. Oh, a bigger truck is here now. Oh, we're shipping out more things. All right, production bopped up, so that we're going to need another bigger truck, brother. Hell yeah. Cool. Now, it looks like it's autumn right now. I'm not sure if there's seasonal changes in this game, but it also could be based on the region in which we've settled. So, for example, if we settle in a tropical region or somewhere that's more like Siberia or maybe somewhere that's more Tiaga or whatever, all of that stuff definitely changes the appearance of the map. So Berlin is going to look a little different than Dublin, which will look different than London, that kind of thing. All right, we can start salvaging things. That's good. Scrap heaps, we can send out the troops, aka our people, to go get some of those things, and that'll give us what we need to continue to build some homes. So let's ramp up our production by salvaging. And what do we have for workers? Looks like 43 are unemployed at the moment, so that's good. Now they have a job of going out and salvaging all these buildings for us and trying to get as many materials as they can back to our base. So that's going to bring us down in our workforce for a while, but keep in mind they're basically giving themselves new homes by doing this, as we'll have more materials to do so. And more upgrades for the sawmill. Okay, we built another set of homes here. Look at that. Income skyrocketing. 4.1 thousand now. Good to see. Money coming in quickly. Upgrades for the sawmill. Oversight office. Powered machinery. But you'd think that would actually... Oh. It doesn't seem to require power for that, though. This game does allow us to create electricity here under utilities. We have like water pumps, water towers, substations, windmills, diesel and natural gas power plants, and even, yeah, like coal and other things like that too. Not sure if we can get into nuclear, but maybe eventually we will be able to. And workforce needed minus 15% on that. I think we're all right for now with the workforce. We just want to get everybody housed, so let's do that. Is there a hotkey for building? Not sure, but I guess we can easily click like that. No problem. Okay, population now at 110 and climbing. 111, 112. 14, perfect. Now, even though we're going to get 120 people, we're still going to want way more workers, so we better keep that in mind. And then there's also our folks who advise us over on the right side. So, yeah, this is much different, this beginning. Oh, it does seem to be a seasonal transition. Look at that. Much different, this game, than I remember it from before. They gave us kind of like one map to play in all the time during the like demos and early access, but now it's nice to build somewhere else where the goals have changed, according to Arthur Mitchell here. It'll be a long way until we can call this a proper home, but it's a start, Governor. Men are thankful. Now that we have people available, we can focus on producing materials for future buildings. Areas rich in wood, we should make use of it. Well, we already got that going, so now we're going to create 60 plywood, and we better get started with converting all that to homes. We need more workers because we probably should scale up. The time it takes to produce wood is long, but also these upgrades repeatedly will continuously increase production, so we'll get plus 20% per cycle. Looks like we can stack those, and that might be another good thing to do. So let's go ahead and invest in that one more time and see the production chain of these sawmills. So right now there's 4 out of 20, and it looks like there's 9 wood there. So let's see if the warehouse can get any upgrades too. More vehicles, perhaps? Let's see. Looks like there's a lot of stuff to reduce, but there. Loading ramp, depot, transport trucks plus 1. Can't construct. The level we need to get to is transport 3. So there's a lot of things we can't get until we research other things too. So I like that. 91 workers now in the area. We can continue to build a couple more homes. Actually, maybe we can focus on the main goal at the time then, and continue to pump this up. I think that since we want to try to maybe minimize the amount of space for certain industries like farming and logging, which will take a crazy amount of space, it's good to optimize them now. So if we upgrade, we can just continue to try to produce more and more and more wood. Let's see, running cost reductions. Yeah, I think we can just go with the basic upgraded sawmill for now. Rather, logging camp. And that'll help us to hit our goal a little faster. And is there anything sitting here? Also, you can see the fire risk. Look at that. Some of these buildings at 1%, but I'm assuming only if they are larger factories and packed more densely that they are truly a high risk at fire. Running costs and things like that there. Cool to see. All right, so we got a couple of nice buildings down. Let's go ahead and go with the roads. Does that take anything really? Development points. I think that gives us development points for building roads at the exchange of money. Go ahead and build something there. So our double wide Victory Parade Road is looking sweet. We'll continue to build that as we will more than likely build more factories and homes down the road. Now, how about the old bulldozer? There we go. Perfect. A little bomb symbol there for that. 27 out of 60. Numbers are going up. Good to see. And, oh, I see. It looks like we can only get a certain number of upgrades until we then have to upgrade again to a higher tier. Okay. So we might want to build like another forestry camp. Looks like this is holding it 4 out of 12, though. Local stocks, 28 wood, 9 plywood. Okay. Oh, are we processing 4 at a time? I'm not sure what the ratio is. 1 construction resource used in manufacture of other various products. True. Okay. What else do we have? Copy mode, move mode. We can move things as well and also upgrade them, although I liked clicking it the way that I was before. Oh, we can also upgrade to gravel roads as well. Improved road faster than dirt. Doesn't seem to show a cost for this. There must be a cost, a higher cost for gravel roads, but let's go ahead and build this here, upgrade this one, because it is important. There you go. Looks like there you can see the cost and then the upgrade cost and the running cost too. Now that's a much nicer road. That doesn't look like gravel at all. That looks like paved cobblestone. Apparently that's a gravel road, but that does seem to be a cobblestone road or a paved road, paved with paving stones. But then we also have access to an asphalt road there too. So Pretty cool. Okay, let's continue to upgrade our homes. We got a few more materials for those. I think we can get everything done that we wanted to do. And then we'll go back to salvage. So now we have a ton of workers, 159. And we'll continue to scout for any sort of materials. There we have fresh water. We have some more abandoned mines and fields and scrap heaps. It does remind me a bit of Frostpunk when we're sending people out to those construction sites, although I don't think we actually see them transport themselves out there. I think it's all kind of just automatic. We have a depot here too that we can repair. Let's go ahead and do that. We can make another logging camp up here. This depot can be repaired, and then we can log around that. I think that's something they were hoping we would find, and all these are indicated here on the map too, where we can non-stop salvage things, but only up to a certain point. We will eventually run out of storage capacity, but that might be why we're building another depot. And also, we don't want to overrun our trucks, so we're at 2 out of 4 here. So if we put too many things around one depot, we'd have to build another depot. So going for another free one is a pretty wise decision. Pretty wise indeed. We'll also build another Victory Parade Road up here. And maybe build our own version of Central Park or something in the middle. As there are decorations in this game, we can decorate everything that we've built too, and really add a lot of immersion to that. We have factories and police departments, fire departments too. Government services are important and plentiful as well. All that stuff will apply. All right, there's the depot there. So we're going to have to make a long road going up there. And we'll see if we can make it on this side. It's a long way to go. But eventually working our way back down here. This will be an important crossroad too. I'm not sure if traffic is a major thing in this game, but I do think it's a good idea to at least make a couple of double wide avenues for your own purposes for organization, and so you can see where things are. And it looks very nice too. And when things look nice, that's awesome. Materials are rolling in. Soon we can start building other necessary buildings. Thanks to the materials we've gathered, we now focus on food production. Do not let our men eat their belts because of hunger. Trust me, no matter what seasoning, leather belts don't taste good. Oh yeah. Served in the war. All right, well, they're still doing that. We got to produce bread now, so we will have to build ourselves a grain field, not a farm, because that produces vegetables. We have a grain field here that we can produce grain with, and then move on to a bakery and even a mill. And I think we'll do some farming maybe further up the road. Perhaps we'll put that near where the depot is and keep things a little out of town. All right, we'll put that directly next to the mill depot. Looks like there's 2 ways for that farm to be accessed to, so I think we only need to connect with one. And then we'll also put down a bakery if we can, a bakari. We have our weaver, clothing maker, smelter, lumber yard, paper mills, and printing presses, appliance factories even too. And wow, the line goes down. I wonder if we can... Oh, you can select by resource? What if we click on bread? Does this... Oh, look at all this. Electrical parts, heavy bombers. So if we want to make something specific, we can click on it. So what's needed for the use of bread? Production chain shows us here a flour mill, then has to deliver stuff to a bakery. So in order to get that flour mill, here's our flour, grain, flour mill. It must have to be on lock then. That building's almost ready, but the farming is... Check road connections or build additional depots. I think it's just because the depot's offline. Let's take a look here though. Where do we get a... where do we get a mill? Cannot construct, development level not reached, agriculture 2. So they must want us to maybe produce X number of grain before it ups our level, and then we can make bread. We have to prove, I guess, that we can make grain before we make bread. Now the game is making trouble for us. That's what it's making. Oh, day-night cycle as well in full effect. Nice to see that. Very cool. It's not long until we're able to start producing in large factories for making tanks and then bombers and then shipping those out and then deploying troops to other regions as well. And then I'm not entirely certain, but I really would hope that in this game, if we capture, another city like Chicago or Seattle or whatever it is, that we can either capture an existing city that the AI controlled, and then, you know, we defeated them, so we can either assimilate them or level the city and build from scratch like you would in Anno, where when you capture an island, you're able to clear it out and then do your own thing. Would be quite nice. Head back down here. And I want to start building some more industries then. I'd like to try to build another sawmill. Can we duplicate a building from the building itself? No, so we'll have to do that from the duplicate menu. There. I think we can probably put this thing on the other side, although it looks like maybe synergy's only counting for one. I don't see another gear above that one. We'll see if this logging camp can build another one, or we could build a logging camp next to the logging camp and start providing wood wherever. We're going to need a lot of that, but I think at a certain point we're going to have too much wood, and then some of the logs will be able to be diverted from the sawmills to making paper or something else. A lot of things that we can make with wood. Okay, the depot's almost repaired. We're going to speed up time a little bit now. If we can. I don't see a speeding thing here. Increase speed. Can't even tell what speed we're at there. Oh, I see 1 and 2. Okay. 0 would be paused, 1 and then 2. Okay. So is that all we can do? 2 times 2 times 3. Okay. All right, building not working properly, not linked to town center. Really? There is a road, though, that goes all the way there. Or did we... oh, maybe the depot needs to be connected on that top side there. All right, then that should start functioning. And boom. Now I think we've got grain being delivered. Perfect. New development level reached. Excellent. Oh, we can also do cotton fields now, too. Gravel pits. Paper mill, smelters. I think we'll have to do things like this. It's a little easier to do it that way. So now the flour mill. Development points 5. We may actually have to do it this way under development. Or we might have to go here to development and then go to agriculture, where we can see it's already tier 1. So there's 0, 1 all the way through 15. And I guess research is done with points that we gather by doing something repeatedly. So we get better at doing something by doing it all the time. So if we're mining iron, the more iron we mine, the faster things go over time. All right, 2 sawmills was right here. There must be some sort of a way to break that down. We'll get into that a little bit later, efficiencies. Right now it's just make something and then make something even better with it. All right, this is good to see, though. I like that we're using the gravel roads, I thought. Now, these are dirt roads here. So we're going to make gravel roads there, near all of our factories and depots. There we are. A little upgrade. All right. I think we'll make another grain farm then, so we can get the agricultural bonuses done quickly. And I appreciate that the farms look somewhat different. That they're not too matchy-matchy. Alright, so hopefully we load up with a ton of grain. And then I think the next thing they're going to want us to do is make clothing with cotton. But let's see what our people's needs are. If we click here, we can actually see what their needs are now. Vegetables and bread. And that will increase their morale. So we can also make some basic farms. So let's do that. Music's so heroic and triumphant. Oh, looks like the road can only go there. Do something like that. And connect this via road. A little dirt road for now, but we could upgrade to a gravel. Anything to make those trucks speed up. And let's see if the vehicles are overwhelmed. 3 out of 4. Okay. So we'd better use this just for raw resource gathering. And then we can build our processing somewhere else. As you can see, it's 1919 now. And, new development level reached. Excellent. Although it doesn't tell us specifically what, but there is the flour mill and the bakery now. So we should make a food production area that's separate from the raw resource area. So something separate from the farms. So I think maybe we'll do it kind of at a midway point. Let's do it up here. So we'll connect this to the town center, end of our Parade Avenue. And we'll put the mill district up there. Whoa, we could build a bridge. That's crazy. Tanks that frame rate like crazy. Okay, so now we'll start with our depot, which is around here somewhere. And what does our market do? Enables trading with merchants and smugglers traveling by land. All right. Now let's go on to the flour mill. And then on to our bakery. We can start with one for now of each. Watch its production and then probably scale up over time. Plus we may need materials for other things. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. That looks like we're making plenty of wood. That's good. And now let's give some bonuses to the farms, yeah? Making more than what we need is probably a good idea. Once we get to exports, we can do more of that. Give each of our farms a irrigation upgrade. Local stock limit plus 20. Well, we got a depot nearby, so that depot should be able to take care of any of that stuff right off the bat. Transport trucks plus 1, that might be good. We'll only be getting more farms, so it's a good idea. And same down here for this depot too. Alright, so now we should be making bread. So flour being, well, grain turned into flour, then being turned into bread and then sold back at the town. Although our town doesn't really need to have a market nearby. Vehicle factories, naval bases, shipyards, air bases, aircraft factories for military. I don't see any defenses. It would be kind of cool to be able to build like, I don't know, air raid shelters and things like that. Looks like for appliances, we're going to need lumber and copper, at least for gramophones. Looks like we can make telephones, radios, and TV sets too. Wow. And then also printing presses, which requires paper. That might be, we might need something for a full production on that. So we could have like a, might need a place to sell that. Might need a news agency. Might be that we need a, I don't know, a lot more research too to get that stuff done. So we'll hold out. There's a lot of possibilities here already off the bat. But food is number one. And we've already made half of the amount of bread that we need. Perfect. All according to plan. All right, how are we doing on flour? What if we can look at some of those things? It doesn't look like we can see the resources that we're producing. I can't switch, for example. We've made 27 out of 50. But we got quite a few farms, so let's go ahead and increase the number of flour mills and bakeries. And we got plenty of workers, so we could do that. And let's also increase the number of trucks that we have. Two out of 5 are currently in use, but we will have more. And let's also upgrade the roads for where they're working. Very nice. All right, money's going up now by 10 rather than what it was at 4. Expenses at 6, and then overall money I think is available as 4.3. So that's after expenses. So expenses are up too. Well done, Governor. You've secured a much-needed food supply, but as we grow, new challenges will appear when it comes to basic needs. Try to fulfill them as soon as possible. You got it. I've lost sight of Grant again. No matter, we have important things to deal with. Our water supply is at an end, Governor. We need to do something about it fast. Lost sight of Grant again. You mean General Grant? Of the Civil War? What you talking about? Okay, let's go ahead and find some water. We did find some water over here. We can build a pump there if we want to. So let's see if we can click on water and build a water pump. I don't see anything that's obviously marked as water. Let's see, under show utilities, we have windmills. Coal mines, lumber yards. Thought the windmill might do that. Oh, there we are. Water pump produces electricity. Oh, sorry. It produces water and may require electricity because it's marked there. Cannot construct development level 2. All right. Well, we could start creating electricity. Maybe this will make some of our factories more efficient. Not sure about that, but by building these, it may get our level up to then be able to make water pumps. And now we're producing 45 electricity. Not sure how that'll be distributed just yet. Oh, but now we have water towers and water pumps unlocked. Okay, that must have did something. Oh, I do appreciate how they show us where all the water supplies are, though. Apparently the East River is too toxic. I guess there might be some truth to that. What else is there? I see another well down here. Oh, it's across the river. Okay, so nothing in Lower Manhattan. All across the river in Jersey. And... oh, hey, we got some animals here. Well, what are those? What are those? No surprise. Yep. The United States of Bear America. Bears. Absolutely. Now, if you just jump to the middle of this video or at any time, what are you doing, Goober? You missed out on most of the video just jumping around like that. You get right back to the beginning. You missed out on that. It's going to be my birthday soon, and that I'm so appreciative that everybody watches all these videos in their entirety, right? And you guys never skip around, and you know what's up, and you know the name of the game because you read the title and the description in its entirety. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Let's get to it. We got to build some water towers here. Yeah, I just called that guy out. That guy. I did. Yep. We're going to have to build a bridge here. Is this going to require iron? It actually just requires wood to build the bridge. Okay. Well, I guess that's nice. Although it should look more like a wood bridge then. I mean, it's possible. Now we can build a wooden bridge. And we'll build another bridge there. Okay, so now we're building all the bridges of New York. Out of wood in mere seconds. And this needs to be connected back. I don't know if the water gathering pumps will need to be shipping that via truck to the depots. But we'll see. All right, we built one there. And where's the other one? There was another one around here somewhere. I've lost it. I don't see the symbol on the screen. There it is. Okay. And we'll just build this out a little bit. Oh, I love the rain. I hope there's more ways to get water in the future rather than just these aquifers. Our water supply has been restored and refilled. Governor, we do not need to ration anymore. People see that you care for them, and they'll repay your kindness with and care for them tenfold. While we enjoy this isolation, we can't go on like this. We need to know what's going on around us, so we may take proper steps in securing our city, and I know just the man who will help us, for a price, of course. Rosalind Hayes, who are you, ma'am? Oh, she knows a trader or a smuggler? Okay, we saw what the marketplace does. Honestly, there's so many buildings here, I want there to be a different way to break things down. Like, there's the development and the basic thing. I guess this further breaks it down, but it's still confusing to me as to where things go. I guess that is basic housing. Maybe it's under, not production buildings. Well, maybe it is. We got a brewery now. All right, we can make some beer. Hell yeah, brother. Beer, more beer. Paper mills. Maybe it's under services. No. Military trading buildings. That would be probably where it's found. And that is what we're looking for, the market. Which does seem to provide some sort of a green bonus here for the people in these homes. So let's definitely build that here. There we are. Our first Aldi's. Look at that. Wow. Isn't that amazing? It's got a drive-through too. Apparently you drive into the side of the building. All right. Interesting. All right. And no power station nearby. Okay, so now we'll have to start building power up there. So maybe we can move these. Was that move tool. And we'll plop that down over here. And that'll just need to be connected to the road. I would like it if this were a little more like Anna, where I could just right-click for some of the basic things, like right-click to see roads, copy, paste, that kind of thing. Looks like it was saying something about substations as well. Power substation. Okay, so we don't need a power creator nearby. We just need a substation nearby. So that's a distribution area for the power centers. Okay. So it looks like power is almost like stored in a warehouse, then redistributed this way. So I think these power generators can go over here. Okay. Now we need to trade with a local smuggler. Let's do that. Trading list. All right, let's sell some plywood. Let's sell some bread. And is this what we're selling or buying? I'm not sure how that works yet. And then let's also sell logs. We probably have a ton of those. Let's see. Click to prevent buying this resource. I guess we're selling? I'm actually not sure how the hell that works. Add resource to trading list. Yeah, what if I want to buy or sell? Oh, click to prevent buying, and then the right is to prevent selling. Well, we want it sold, and I think here we're setting a number in which we want to sell. So I don't want to sell too much. I want to keep some of these things, but let's set this to like 100. Although control and shift don't let us skip 10 numbers at a time. Whatever, we should make some good money with this. And then bread, I certainly want to bring that down. Actually, we can set a custom number, so let's do 25 bread. Is that the number that we're... Are we selling all but 25? Not sure. We can always make more bread, though. We can always scale that industry up. We got plenty of workers for that. So now I think we just need to wait for the trader to appear. Enables trading with merchants and smugglers traveling by land. Traders may bring info on distant regions and empires. Oh, they're a little bit like intel gathering. Interesting. Okay. That's a cool premise. And I don't think we need to connect to the edge of the map, to which we could do that up in the north, but I don't think we'll need to do that. Oh, many more places to salvage. Many more materials to get. Oh yeah, we're leveling up very quickly, doing all sorts of new things. Let's see if we can make a new type of housing. Labor high-rise. Would you look at that? But it'll take what looks to be bricks there to build a high-rise, and that'll give us homes for 80 laborers, which is way better. So that might be under here. Gravel pit. Is there a clay pit somewhere? Copper, zinc, clay right there. We'll need to hit utilities 3, so we could build a few more water pumps or... maybe water towers? Distributes water to nearby buildings. Okay. Looks like the homes don't need water, though. So some industrial buildings may need that. Let's go ahead and add more power, then. Get that level up. Oh. Local trader has given you information about a new region. Okay. Orinoco, which looked to be somewhere in South America. Okay. We got some concrete and glass and other things from the buildings we salvaged before. And there's a marker there. Looks like we can upgrade the town hall. Oh, reach a population of 500, then we can upgrade. Okay. And what about those mines yet? Manufacturing 1. Manufacturing 2 for the oil. Clay pit requires utilities 3. We have to go here to see where we're at. Almost to utilities 3. Copy a couple more windmills. We don't need these things, but we certainly want to build them for unlocking new stuff. Okay, looks like we have negative cash flow from all of that too. A lot of expenses from those power plants. We'll have to wait until 3 more trades come through. I think we should be making money from that. I also wonder if we can turn off buildings. Looks like we'll need to pause them. They also require workers for that. And I wonder if there's a way to do that en masse. Looks like it'll have to be a one at a time thing. So maybe by building these, that ups our level and we don't need to keep them functioning. At least we have more ready at a moment's notice. So 2 to power that market over there. Okay, well, traders are coming through. We must be making money. And it comes back up to 11,000, so that's good. We are trading, I think, what we can. Anything else we should trade? We do have vegetables, too. We could start selling that. Let's go ahead and set that to 100. Nice. Oh, and look at the things we can already make. Printing presses, paper mills, yep. We've unlocked quite a bit, although they all are interestingly tied to each other through many different means. Like, oil pumps are tied to via manufacturing. Some of these are tied to utilities. Some of them are tied to morale. Like a gold mine requires a certain level of morale in order to do that. We have to have that at 10 in order for us to like instruct people to build a gold mine. But to mine coal and iron, it just needs to be like 0. Interesting levels here. But at least everybody has bread. Check that out. Needs 100%. I think we'll grow our city out then before we grow up. So that way we can unlock more stuff at the main city hall. Well, wait a minute. We do have bricks from buildings that we had demolished. I had forgotten that. But we do want to make our own. Can we upgrade a building, though? If this value reaches 100%, the residents of the building will start a riot. 82%. Well, there must be a way then to get them things to not let them do that. Looks like we discovered Ethiopia. Let's move that high rise somewhere else. Oh. My bad. All right, let's go ahead and put that down again. We'll start making the neighborhood blocks a little bigger. And we'll need more plywood for that. And that's something we're making plenty of. Perfect. So now look at these compared to the other buildings. Very New York looking right there. You got like a butcher shop, residential homes, all the storefronts and things on the front side. Completely extract a natural resource. Oh, looks like we ran out of water. Okay, well there wasn't much there. Guess we'll demolish that then. You'd think more water would come in there. That would be, with all the rain and with the river nearby, you'd think water would be a renewable source like that over time. Even if we stop pumping it, it should return. Oh boy. Every people rebel against your rule. Now hold on a second, people. We talked about this. You know, what's interesting, though, is they're rebelling, although they have the things that they want, or rather needs. Okay, so they have 100% vegetables, 100% bread, but it looks like the luxuries are the things we need to pay attention to, too. So clothing and newspapers are what they want. So, oh boy. So what we should do then is do what I mentioned before with the cotton farm and the clother. Although we're just following the instructions of the commander there for trading and learning other things like that. So we should do that then. Go back to the farming. We'll build a cotton farm there. And there. Oh, looks like we're out of wood too. Okay, well, at least we have cotton coming in, and then we could do another factory for that. So we should do a clothes factory there, but I think that might require too much wood than what we have. Yeah, okay. So then what we'll need to do is find some more buildings to salvage. Okay, so keep in mind, the game wants you to make clothing, but doesn't necessarily tell you that you need to make clothing. A little curveball. I'm pretty sure the tutorial probably doesn't cover that either. It just mentions wants and needs, and then you'll have to check that for all of them. And what could be interesting is if the high-rises require something a little different. So that'd be cool too. Let's see here. Oh, nope, just newspapers and clothes, but more of it because there's more people who would live there. Yeah, that's right. Burn down your own homes where you live. That's a genius move. Boy. Are we living with bears or something like this? It's crazy. Hey, but the town hall could upgrade, though. Hell yeah. Union, pacifism, or nation state. Oh, we get to choose. Let's see. Production of labor needs and +5 immigrant interest for laborers. +1 production of resource or +10 deployment points. Let's go with production of tier 1 resources. Production of labor needs. I guess that'll be good. Sure. Go for it. Oh, it changes the town hall slightly. Interesting. Based on our policies? So it'll be interesting to know what your town hall will look like if you try to militarize. Will it start having giant anti-aircraft guns on it? That'd be cool. What a game, man. Oh, boy. I think it's going fine, though. I think we made... I think we're fine, people. I think we're fine. I think we made the right choices, according to me. Well, folks, that's all the time I have today for our 1.0 first look at KAISERPUNK. Much different than what I was expecting, honestly, and even better. A much more open and free sandbox to make mistakes and do as you want, but yet the goal is always the same, to please your people and conquer the world. Well, I want to play a lot more of this in the future, so definitely do subscribe to the channel and let me know. Glory to Raptoria down below in the comment section. Thanks for all your birthday wishes. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the future for more KAISERPUNK. Now that we got this 1.0 behind us, tomorrow is the future. Today, I think. Anyway, see ya.